Welcome back. My name is Tom Storey and I run a real estate team in Toronto, and this is probably my favorite video to film every single year. But before we get into all the predictions, big shout out to Steve from Surrey BC for sending me this awesome shirt. I will link his info below. Now, this video, I want to make very clear, it's my predictions. These are not guarantees, these are predictions. And if anybody tells you they know exactly what's going to happen, I'll tell you one thing. They're probably lying. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, and number 10, my number 10 prediction for the Toronto real estate market in 2020 is that the stress test is going to be tweaked. Now, this is really Canada-wide, and maybe this is more of me just really hoping that this happens because it will have such a big impact on first-time home buyers. I've heard discussions and I've seen articles about how Trudeau is talking to more know about maybe how this is something that needs to happen moving forward, so we will keep our fingers crossed. Number 9 is talking about the Toronto condo market. So I do think that the Toronto condo market again is going to see between a 5 and an 8% increase. As someone that sells a lot of condos, helps people buy a lot of condos, I'm telling you there was not too many circumstances this year where I sold a condo where there wasn't multiple offers either on me as the listing side or helping my buyer on the buy side. There just truly isn't enough inventory. And prediction number 8, I'm going to predict that 50% or maybe even slightly more of sales are going to all happen under $800,000. If you look at the marketplace and the percentage of sales that are actually happening in different price ranges, for 2019, between 400 and 800,000 represented 55% of the entire market. I think that's going to be a trend that we're going to see in 2020 as well. Number 7, semi-detached homes are going to have a huge year, especially in the 416 area code. The reason why, I can't tell you how many times this year and moving into next year I have things lined up where people have said, Tom, I need you to sell my condo and I want to buy a semi-detached property. Now, the reason why everyone wants to buy a semi-detached property is because it's the most affordable asset class when you're jumping into freehold type properties. So there's either semi-detached or you can get a freehold townhouse. Now, semi-detached properties are located in very good locations. A lot of them are near the downtown core, and there is a ton of demand on them. So if you're trying to buy a semi-detached property in 2020, be calculated, know exactly what you're looking for, and don't worry, it may not work out the first time, but I think semis are gonna have huge price growth in 2020. Number 6 on my list is that I actually think there's going to be less overall sales on the MLS system in 2020 than there was in 2019. A trend that we've seen in the past 6 months of 2019 is that the inventory levels are extremely low. And when there's less to choose from, less sales happen. So it's really just easy math on that area. I really think a lot of people are in right now their 10-year, maybe 15, 20-year homes, and they're buying investment properties, but you're not going to see as much move up, move down in a market that's not as crazy as it used to be. And now we get into the top 5. So my number 5 prediction is that I actually think rental prices are not going to go up in 2020. I think they're going to have a stagnated year that's going to be MUN. And the reason why is because there's a lot of new development coming to the market. A lot of buildings are launching. There's going to be more inventory for renters to choose from. And those Airbnb new regulations that the City of Toronto has put into place are going to have a massive impact. They're estimating that about 6,500 short-term rentals are going to come back to the 1-year rental market. So for the first time in a long time, if you're a renter, maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. This is some good news. Number 4, I think the entire GTA market, we're going to see inventory levels stay under 3 months. And for people that haven't seen my other videos before, essentially anything under 3 months is considered a seller's market. And if there's 3 months of inventory, if today no new listings came on the market, everything would sell out in that 3 months period. So it's essentially just an absorption rate. So I really do think it's going to be a tight year for new listings in 2020. And if you're a buyer, make sure you know exactly what you're looking for, be calculated, and go out and get it as soon as you possibly can. Now on to the top 3. So number 3, I think it's going to be a big year for move up buyers. So a lot of people that have lived in their condo for the past 3 to 5 years, they're jumping up to that townhouse, semi, or detached property. Over the past 5 years, condos have almost gone up 70% in price. It's just crazy what's happened with the condo market. So a lot of people are going to take advantage of that, sell their condo at the peak, and then get into another segment of the market that hasn't seen the same increase over the past 5 years. The price gap is getting tighter and tighter. It's going to be a big year for move-up buyers. And number 2, I think the Bank of Canada overnight rate, and again, this is on a Canadian level, not just Toronto, I actually do think it's going to come down. There's been a bunch of resistance the last few rate announcements. It's at 1.75 right now. I wouldn't be shocked if it got to 1.50. Again, this won't have a massive impact on the market, but if you're getting pre-approved for a mortgage, usually the banks will follow suit and maybe your rate will be slightly lower and you pay a little bit less every single month. So I think that's good news for everyone. And my number one prediction for 2020, I think home prices in the Greater Toronto Area, including all asset classes, are going to go up 7%. I've looked at all the numbers. I'm a stats nerd. I know exactly what's going on here on the back end of someone that's actually doing this on the ground level. And this may sound like a lot to you, it may sound like a little, but if you look back from 1980 till 2020, these last 40 years, the market has averaged about 6.5%. I think based on low inventory moving into 2020, we're gonna see a 7% increase. Now again, keep in mind, this is for the entire market, but pockets are so important. So if you're watching this video and you live in a specific area, let me know and I can tell you what the inventory level's like there. What's your list versus sale price ratio? What's the average days on market? It really is important to get into the micro markets because I know these videos are more macro most of the time. All right, that's it. I guess my bonus one would be the market's not gonna crash this year. Our three pillars are extremely strong. Interest rates are affordable. People can borrow money at pretty good rates. Unemployment is extremely low. People have jobs. They can buy houses. And the immigration is high again. And a lot of people coming into Canada are coming to the Greater Toronto Area because of jobs. So the three pillars of our market are extremely strong. Thank you so much for watching that video. I know this one's a bit longer than usual. I hope you have an awesome end to 2019. On a personal level, thank you so much for watching, whether you've watched all of our videos, 10 seconds of one, bought or sold with the Storey team in 2019. We can't wait to make 2020 not only the best year ever for ourselves and our clients, but the best decade ever. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, home is where your story begins.